I planned my dream 18th birthday party with my family and friends, but then my mom and stepsister hijacked it to celebrate themselves. You won't believe how bad it got. A little background. My mom and dad separated when I was 6 and each went their separate ways. Of course, they had joint custody of me, but they both started new families. When I was 9, my mom married a man, let's call him Robert, who already had a daughter, let's call her Kira, who was 2 years older than me. My dad got engaged when I was 8 to a wonderful woman, let's call her Layla, who he married when I was 12. My relationship with Layla is beautiful. She has truly been a mother to me. She basically helped my dad raise me. She takes an interest in my life. She comfort me. She advise me. We have common interests, and we do many activities together. She and I recently talked about the possibility of having her legally adopt me as soon as I come of age. Doing so now would be a bit messy legally because of my parents' joint custody. Because for me, she is my real mother, and I want it to be official. My relationship with my bio mother, on the other hand, is almost non-existent. Even though I was forced to spend specific days with her, we never managed to bond because she spent all her time giving attention and affection to Kira, who already have her own mother. Even when she tried to involve me in some activity, she always included Kira, and we had to do only what Kira liked. At a certain point, I started to decline her invitations and often asked if I could avoid going to her on the set days because I was almost always ignored or left aside, and I preferred to stay at home with my father and Layla. My father always tried to understand me, but he also had to honor the rules set by the judge. When I got more mature, he admitted that he was afraid that my mother might make some mean move in court if he agreed to not let me go to her on the appointed days. Yeah, this is something my mother would do. After knowing this, I understood my father's reasons, and I absolutely don't want to put him in trouble. So I didn't make such requests anymore, and I respected my schedule. Now let's get to the point. In 2 weeks, I will finally turn 18. I was lucky because my birthday falls on the days I have to stay with my dad, so he, Layla, and I started planning my birthday a month ago. It will be nothing too crazy, just a party with family and friends at my favorite pizza place. A casual night where I just want to have fun with the people I care about and do what I like. The place also has karaoke, and I love singing. Of course, after booking and setting everything up, we sent out the invitations, and this extended to my mother as well. Honestly, I didn't really want her there, but then I thought that this would actually be the last time I was forced to be involved with her. Because once I turn 18, I won't be forced to follow the judge's rules anymore. So we sent out the invitations 2 days ago, and we already had almost all the answers, so we could organize the precise number to send to the pizza place. And the only thing missing was my mother, who saw the text and did not respond. I told my father that I would not insist, and if she did not respond, then it meant she did not want to come, and I was fine with that. I think my father was also a little relieved by the idea, even if he didn't say it openly, but I could see it on his face. Anyway, the drama started this afternoon. My mother called me, very angry, accusing me of being childish, and that I shouldn't have planned anything without telling her first. This left me a little confused, and I reminded her that I always planned all my birthdays with Dad and Layla. Most of the time she didn't even remember, so complaining now was quite hypocritical. This made her even angrier and started attacking me because Kira had been crying ever since I sent the invitation to my mother because she had already planned a whole birthday party for me. And I was really speechless because the relationship between me and Kira is zero. She is the classic spoiled brat who always wants to be the center of attention, and my mother has always supported this behavior of hers, making it worse, and clearly she and I have never gotten along. I just didn't understand why the hell Kira wanted to organize a birthday party for me. It didn't make sense. I asked her why she did it, and especially why she did it without telling me. I mean, she didn't really think I wouldn't make any plans for my 18th birthday, right? It was ridiculous. My mother said it was supposed to be a surprise, and since I didn't tell her about my plans, she thought I didn't want to do anything for my birthday. And I mean, she could have asked. No? No? But here comes the worst part, and I admit, the one that made me lose my cool. My mother started listing all the things Kira had prepared for my party, maybe to rub in my face what I would have missed. And they were all Kira's favorite activities. Things that I didn't like. She had booked a fish restaurant for lunch, and I don't eat fish. Not because of some whim, but because it makes me feel sick. Just smelling fish makes me feel nauseous. I'm not allergic. I had it checked. My body simply rejects it. She also booked an afternoon activity at a ranch near the city where my mother now live, where you can ride horses and, well, I don't like it. I have nothing against horses in particular, but the idea of riding one or getting really close to an animal that big scares me. Then she thought about going back to my mom's house for a backyard barbecue for dinner, and I just don't want to do that because I don't want to spend more time with my mom than I have to. My mother also said they had already sent out invitations to everyone, and at that point I was really speechless, but I had to ask her who she had sent them to because my friends, my dad, and his family hadn't received anything. It turns out that at the party was mostly invited to Robert's family, my mom's family, and Kira's friends. I mean, it was basically a party organized by Kira for herself, but under the pretext that it was for my birthday. So, I didn't hold back anymore. I laughed in my mother's face and hung up the phone. It was all too ridiculous to be true, come on. My dad came to me a little while ago, saying that my mom called him mad because I laughed in her face when she told me about the party they had organized for me, and he was very upset about it. He was starting to say that despite all the feelings I had for my mom, they were trying to do a thing for once, but I stopped him right away and explained in details how the party had been organized, a detail that my mom apparently left out with him. His expression changed quickly. He just said, "I'm going to make a phone call," and I've been hearing him yelling at my mother for at least 20 minutes by now. Layla came to me after learning about the situation and said that as much as she could relate to me, I was a little rude to laugh in my mother's face and hang up without explaining. For her, I should have spoken out like an adult despite my feelings and sort things out in a civil and mature way. She wasn't angry, just a bit disappointed about how I acted. As soon as she left, I thought about my actions and maybe I was a little hasty, but I don't think talking to my mom about it would have helped, honestly. But maybe I could have handled it better. I'm starting to think I was a bit of an asshole in that moment. Update 1. So after my dad finished his marathon phone call with my mom, and by phone call, I mean him basically roasting her for nearly half an hour, things took a weird turn. He came out of his office looking both frustrated and tired, but also kind of smug. When I asked him what went down, he just said, "Don't worry about it, it's sorted," and wouldn't elaborate. Naturally, this made me suspicious because sorted doesn't usually mean the same thing to my dad as it does to normal people. Anyway, a couple of hours later, I got a text from my mom that read, "We need to talk. Call me ASAP." Now, I'm no genius, but considering how the last conversation went, I was in no rush to deal with her drama again. Still, curiosity got the better of me, or maybe it was guilt from Layla's little speech about being mature. So I called her. The moment she picked up, she didn't even give me a chance to say hello before launching into a monologue. She claimed that my dad had grossly misunderstood the situation and that Kira's intentions were pure. According to her, this party wasn't about stealing my birthday or making it all about Kira. It was just a well-meaning gesture that went a little off course because apparently Kira doesn't know me as well as she thought. Now let's pause here. I've known Kira for nearly a decade. We've been stuck in this weird step-sibling limbo since I was 9. And during all that time, the only thing Kira has consistently done is make everything about her. So, yeah, forgive me if I find it hard to believe that her booking a fish restaurant, a horse ranch, and a barbecue with her friends and family was some misguided attempt to celebrate my birthday. But here's the kicker. My mom actually had the nerve to say that I should consider going to Kira's party instead of mine. She claimed it would mean a lot to Kira and would be a step toward healing our non-existent relationship. At this point, I didn't even know whether to laugh or scream. I told her as calmly as I could, which wasn't very calm, let's be real, that it was my 18th birthday, and I wasn't about to spend it at a party where I'd be surrounded by people I don't care about, doing things I hate, just to make Kira feel special. Her response? "You're being selfish." I lost it. I told her that if anyone was being selfish, it was her and Kira. I pointed out, again, that Kira planned a party without even consulting me, filled it with activities I hate, and then had the audacity to act like I'm the problem for not going along with it. I also reminded her that she has a terrible track record of putting Kira's feelings above mine, so this wasn't exactly shocking behavior. And you know what she said? She said, "Well, maybe if you were more like Kira, we wouldn't have these problems." Yeah. Let that sink in for a minute. At that point, I was done. I told her she could throw as many parties for Kira as she wanted, but I wasn't going to be there, and I wasn't going to waste any more energy on this nonsense. Then I hung up. Again. Cue round 2 of guilt. Layla overheard part of the conversation. She didn't mean to eavesdrop, but my voice was pretty loud, and she pulled me aside afterward. She said she understood why I was upset, but she also said that maybe I should stop expecting anything from my mom. According to her, I'm setting myself up for disappointment by hoping she'll suddenly change or put me first. Layla suggested that instead of arguing with her, I should just focus on the people who do care about me and let the rest go. Easier said than done. The next day, things got even weirder. I got a call from Kira. This is unusual because, like I said, we don't really talk. At first, I debated whether to answer, but curiosity got the better of me. When I picked up, she was crying, like full-on sobbing. She started apologizing for the whole party fiasco, saying she didn't mean to upset me and that she genuinely thought I'd appreciate the effort. She claimed she didn't know I had other plans and that she felt awful for causing all this drama. It was bizarre. Part of me wanted to believe her. I mean, she sounded sincere, but then again, Kira is a master manipulator. I've seen her fake tears before to get out of trouble, so it was hard to tell if this was genuine or just another performance. Still, I didn't want to escalate things further, so I told her it was fine and that we should just move on. But apparently, that wasn't good enough for her. She started begging me to come to her party. She said she'd cancel the fish restaurant and the horseback riding and replace them with things I actually like. She even offered to invite my friends and make it more about me. At this point, I was so confused. Why was she trying so hard? What was the angle here? I told her I appreciated the gesture, but that I already had plans with Dad and Layla and wasn't going to change them. She sounded disappointed, but said she understood. I thought that was the end of it. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Later that evening, my dad got another call from my mom. Apparently, Kira had told her about our conversation and twisted it into some sob story where I was the mean sibling who refused to give her a chance. My mom went on another rant about how I'm throwing away family and breaking Kira's heart. My dad wasn't having any of it. He told her that if she and Kira couldn't respect my decisions, then maybe they shouldn't bother trying to be part of my life at all. Ouch. After that, things went quiet for a few days. No calls, no texts, nothing. It was honestly a relief. I started to focus on my actual birthday plans and tried to push all the drama out of my mind. Layla and I picked out decorations, my dad helped me finalize the guest list, and everything was finally starting to feel normal again. But then, just when I thought the storm had passed, I got an email from my mom. It was long and dramatic, full of flowery language about how she just wants what's best for me, and how she's so hurt that I'm cutting her out of my life. She ended it by saying that if I didn't come to Kira's party, she would consider it a personal betrayal. A personal betrayal. At this point, I'm just exhausted. I haven't responded to the email, and I'm not sure if I even want to. Part of me feels like there's no point. She's never going to see things from my perspective, and I'm tired of trying to make her understand. My birthday is in a few days, and honestly, I just want to enjoy it without all this extra drama. But knowing my mom, I'm sure this isn't the last I'll hear from her. Stay tuned, I guess. Update 2. All right, so here's how everything unfolded. Strap in because this one gets wild. My birthday finally rolled around, and the day started off exactly how I wanted. My dad and Layla woke me up with pancakes and coffee, my favorite breakfast combo, and we spent the morning relaxing. Layla gave me a thoughtful scrapbook she made of photos from all the years we've spent together, and I nearly cried. My dad joked about how time flies, and teased me for becoming an adult while refusing to clean my room, but it was all in good fun. It was the perfect start to the day. The party at the pizza place was set for the evening, and everything was on track. I had friends coming, my favorite songs queued up for karaoke, and even a surprise cake Layla ordered. She knows I'm a sucker for chocolate. For the first time in a while, I wasn't thinking about my mom or Kira or any of the drama they'd stirred up. But of course, that peace didn't last long. About an hour before we were set to leave, I got a call from one of my cousins who's close with my mom. Apparently, my mom and Kira had decided to throw their party anyway, despite me making it crystal clear I wasn't coming. What's worse, they sent out a mass text to a bunch of extended family members claiming I'd canceled my plans and would be celebrating with them instead. I couldn't believe it. They were basically hijacking my birthday. My dad was livid when I told him. He called a few relatives to clear things up, and most of them were confused but said they'd stick to the original plan and meet us at the pizza place. A few, though, admitted they were already on their way to my mom's house because they'd bought into her lie. This whole thing was turning into a circus, and I hadn't even left the house yet. The party started, and for the most part, it was amazing. My friends showed up, we stuffed ourselves with pizza, and the karaoke machine was a hit. Layla even got up to sing a cheesy 80s duet with my dad, which was hilarious and surprisingly good. For a while, it felt like the perfect celebration. Then came the crash. About halfway through the night, my mom and Kira showed up. They walked into the restaurant like they owned the place. Kira was all dolled up in what was clearly a party outfit, while my mom had this fake smile plastered on her face like she wasn't about to cause a scene. I could feel the tension in the room skyrocket the moment they walked in. My dad was at the other end of the table, and I swear I've never seen him move so fast. He intercepted them before they could get any closer to me. The conversation was loud enough for everyone to hear. Mom started with, "We just wanted to stop by and wish me a happy birthday." Dad wasn't having it. He told her, in no uncertain terms, that she wasn't welcome because of the stunt she pulled with the fake party. Mom tried to play dumb, saying she had no idea what he was talking about. But my dad called her out right there in the middle of the restaurant. He said, "You've been doing this for years, Mom. This isn't about me. It's about you and Kira trying to control everything." Kira jumped in, claiming she had worked so hard to make my birthday special and that I was being ungrateful. That's when I decided I'd had enough. I stood up, walked over to them, and said, "Kira, this isn't about you. It's never been about you. You've spent years making everything about yourself, and I'm done playing along. This is my birthday, and I'm celebrating it with the people who actually care about me. You can stay if you want, but you're not ruining this for me." The restaurant went dead silent. Kira looked like I'd slapped her, and my mom just stood there, stunned. Eventually, they left, but not before my mom muttered something about how I'd regret turning my back on family. After they were gone, the mood was a little awkward for a bit, but my friends helped lighten things up by dragging me back to the karaoke machine. I even ended up singing a goofy duet with my best friend that had everyone laughing again. The party ended on a high note, and I felt genuinely happy for the first time in a long time. But here's where things get really interesting. The next day, I got a call from my grandma, my mom's mom. She'd heard all about the drama from other family members and wanted to know what really happened. After I explained everything, she said something that completely blindsided me. "You know, your mom's always been like this. She did the same thing to me when your grandpa left. She made everything about her and tried to drag everyone else into her drama." She went on to tell me some stories about my mom's younger years that honestly made a lot of things click into place. Apparently, my mom's habit of prioritizing the wrong people and making everything a competition goes way back. Grandma apologized for how my mom's behavior had affected me and said something that really stuck with me. "You've got a good head on your shoulders and you're surrounded by people who love you. Don't waste your energy trying to fix something that's always been broken." That was the closure I didn't know I needed. I've decided to move forward with the legal adoption process with Layla. She's been more of a mother to me than my bio mom ever was, and I want to make it official. My dad and Layla were thrilled when I told them, and I could see how much it meant to her. As for my mom and Kira, I'm keeping my distance. I'll be polite if I have to see them at family events, but I'm done bending over backward to accommodate their drama. At the end of the day, this birthday taught me an important lesson. Blood doesn't make a family, love does. And I'm lucky to have plenty of that in my life. Thanks to everyone who stuck around for this roller coaster. Your advice and encouragement helped me keep my sanity through all of this. Here's to brighter days ahead.